Pleased to welcome back to the show Congresswoman María Salazar, a Republican from Florida down in the Miami area, former Emmy Award-winning journalist. She's the daughter of Cuban exiles. Congresswoman, welcome back to the show.
Wonderful. Wonderful to be with you.
I want to ask you this question. I saw a story a few days ago in Axios, and there was a poll conducted of Hispanic Americans across multiple states, and one of the questions was, who do you trust more on immigration? And I think if you talk to the media and certainly the Democratic Party, they would expect that Hispanic people would say, oh, definitely Joe Biden over Donald Trump. Donald Trump's, Mr. Anti-Immigrant. But the response was Trump leads Biden among Hispanics on trust in the immigration realm. What do you make of that? Why do you think that's the case?
I think that's just wonderful that not only the poll that you're mentioning was conducted and that we have the results, because the Hispanics do not want the what's happening at the border, the disarray that this administration has put together or has allowed for it to happen in the last 4 years, where you have 8 million people have come in and we don't even know who they are. Hispanics want to have orderly at the border, and at the same time, those people who have been here for many years and they have not committed a crime have some type of dignity to live a dignified life in the promised land. But that cannot be acquired, or that cannot be able to be achieved. And I'm talking about the dreamers, and the TPS and those people who have contributed with the economy if the borders is not sealed. So Hispanics, we want the same thing, probably more. We love this country more than some of the people who have been born here, because we have a point of reference, and that is the United States is still the beacon of hope, and everyone would like to live here.
Yeah, and I think it's very interesting to see the way that your state and your district has moved pretty rapidly just in the last couple of years. Like, I remember not long ago, right, Hillary Clinton won Miami-Dade County by, what was it, like 20 or 30 points. It wasn't even close. Then Trump came pretty close to winning it, single digits. Then DeSantis actually won it in 2022. How are you feeling about Florida, South Florida in particular, your neck of the woods, this election season?
Yeah, I think it's a great question. Florida, you have in South Florida the heart of the Cuban exile community, the one that I belong to. My parents, I'm first-generation American. My parents came. They're political refugees. They came from Cuba 60 years ago. And then it's not only the Cubans, but you have the Venezuelans and the Nicaraguans. All those people, millions and millions of them, have experienced the promises of socialism. And in practice, it's miserable. In theory, it's beautiful. And that's why Florida has turned red, because of socialism, because we do not want that horrible experiment to be conducted here in the United States for the detriment of our children. And that's why I'm in office, because I'm the only GOP holding a 100% urban center or 100% metropolitan area. And so I have registered Democrats and independents voting for Salazar, because we know that the American exceptionality is not socialist.
So do you believe, and I'm not, no one wants to jinx themselves, and we've got 4 months to go and all of that, but do you believe that you're in a strong position to win re-election, and do you think President Trump is in a strong position to carry the state of Florida for a third time?
Listen, I'm never confident. I think that, thank God, that we have to earn every vote, because the American electoral system allows for you to do that. You have to put in the work. That's what I'm doing. My voters, the constituents, understand the work that we've done. We worked very hard to maintain the values and the ideals that they voted me in, or that they wanted me to, or they want me to represent in Congress. I do believe that Trump, being the nominee, has a very big chance for what I explained to you. Not only the border, but inflation, 2 wars, the stature of the United States, which is still the only country around that can help others and continue fighting for human rights and for freedom and for free market economy. Look what's happening right now with Russia and Putin, and now he's friends with China and North Korea. Come on. Those people, their only agenda is to maintain power and to crush their populations or their people. I mean, there's no interest. And that's why it's so important for us Americans to vote correctly and to remember that what's happening right now has nothing to do with political parties. It has to do with being an American and continuing the American agenda, which has helped so many people around the world.
On that subject, just recently, I mean, you had Russian warships spotted not far off the coast of Florida. Russians. And I mean, we're in 2024 here. What do you read into that, and what do you feel like that almost even symbolizes? Where some people are having flashbacks to decades ago here under Joe Biden.
Yeah, it's a show of force that Putin wants to send the message to the White House that he knows it's a weak when it comes to foreign policy, weak White House, and that nothing really is going to happen. If he puts together this show of having 2 nuclear submarines 90 miles away from the coast of my city, Miami, he knows that there are no consequences. And he is just trying to say to the White House, you go into Ukraine, well, I'm going to go into Cuba and into Venezuela, and I'm going to invade your hemisphere. And nothing happens, and nothing, unfortunately, happened because Putin has been able to measure up President Biden's weaknesses, and that's very sad and very dangerous. And unfortunately,
and you said, Congresswoman, only 30 seconds left in the interview, so quickly, you've called the administration's policy in Latin America incoherent. Quickly, what do you mean by that? I think we lost.
Yeah, no, I'm here. Sorry for the siren.
No worries. 10 seconds.
Very weak, because the message here is that the United States is sleeping at the wheel when it comes to the Western Hemisphere. That is our backyard. Remember that people from Argentina can walk into Texas. And that's something that I'm always telling my GOP members on the floor, is that we got to pay attention to Latin America because we live in the same.
It feels like we're kind of asleep at the wheel in a lot of ways around the world, which is a big part of the problem. Congresswoman Salazar, thanks for your time.